The reason why I introduce myself as recovered, because I have recovered from a hopeless state of mind and body, right? And they use the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. They use that book in Crystal Meth Anonymous. They use it in Cocaine Anonymous. They use it in Heroin Anonymous. They use it in Sex Anonymous, the same 12 steps. And in Narcotics Anonymous, they still use the same 12 steps. They just use a different book. The reason why they do that is because it works, right? And what I realize is what these people did. These people, when they wrote this book, they came up with a system that works for people that are suffering from a hopeless state of mind and body, right? And what that looks like, the book tells me that if I am a true addict and alcoholic, if I can relate to what some of those people's stories are like in that book, if I can relate them to my own life, then I can say that I do suffer from this disease. And at the end of my story, hopefully I can say something to someone in here that will help them with their state of recovery, help them realize that they do suffer from this disease, and they must do exactly what those people did in that book if they want what those people got at the end of those steps and what I have today. Because I realize in that book what those people tell me, because I totally relate to some of the things they talk about in there, is that I suffer from the disease of alcoholism. And what that looks like is it's a two-part disease. The first part of the disease is I have an allergy of the body. What that looks like is whenever I put alcohol and drugs into my body, I experience an allergic reaction. And it's something no normal person ever experiences. So if you've ever experienced it even once, then you suffer from this disease. And what it is called the phenomenon of craving. And what that looks like is when I put it into my body, now all of a sudden I want more, I want more, I want more. I cannot stop. Right? Well, the allergy is easily treatable. Don't put it in your body. You won't experience the allergic reaction, right? So what the book tells me that where the true problem with the addict and the alcoholic lies is the obsession of the mind, right? Because once the addict and the alcoholic realizes that they're going to suffer some consequences in their life and they realize they have this allergy, why do they continue to put it in there when they know they're going to have the allergic reaction? That's where the obsession of the mind comes in, right? In my own experience, where I suffered from that obsession of the mind, once I realized that I can't do methamphetamines anymore, I'm going throughout my day and I'm realizing I'm having this thought that keeps coming telling me to get high all the time, and I'm having to fight it off all day long, right? So I'm irritable, I'm restless, and I'm discontented. I can relate to exactly what those people talk about in that book. Because I'm tired of fighting off this stupid thought that tells me to go get high when I know that I can't or I don't want to. And sooner or later, I give in and I do it again because I'm tired of listening to it. Or I give in and I do it again because I believe the lies that it's telling me, and it tells me that I'm not going to suffer the same allergic reaction that I suffered last time I did it. So the true problem with the alcoholic lies in that mental obsession, right? Now, I did methamphetamines for 28 years, my entire life. I had given up on the fact that I would ever not do methamphetamines. And I thought that I just didn't want to not do it, right? I never realized that I had this disease. So what I'm going to share with you, step one tells me that I'm powerless. It says that we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable, right? And what I like to reword step one a little bit. I like to say that I admitted that I was powerless over my thoughts and that my actions had become unmanageable. Because what I'm truly powerless over is that first thought. Because all of us are addicted to something different. Some of us are addicted to meth, some cocaine, some heroin, some pot, right? Some gambling, some sex. Whatever our addiction is, what we're truly powerless over is when that first thought comes and says, hey, you know it'd be a good idea? Let's go do this. And we're powerless to tell it no, and before we know it, we're off and running again. Right? So it's an insane thought, right? Because if I do step one correctly, I have to admit that I'm insane. Because I can't control what I think, and I can't control what I do. So therefore, I am in a form of insanity, right? So what I'm going to relate to you, I did meth for 28 years, so I could sit here and tell you war stories for hours and hours and hours. But the only stories I'm going to share to you about my using are the ones that have to do with my complete powerlessness over the drug. The insane thought that caused me to go do it again. And I'm going to point out how it was truly insane when I did it again. right? So the first one I think of, see, I did methamphetamines for 28 years. The first one I can truly remember where I can relate to in the book tells me that frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. I don't know if you guys have read this book and have thought about it, but I've worked this book with many sponsees. I did the steps. They worked. I didn't know how they worked, but once I started sponsoring hundreds of men, I realized how they worked. And I started studying this book, and I looked up frothy emotional appeal. And what it tells me, the definition of frothy emotional appeal is what loved ones or family members say to an addict or alcoholic to get them to quit drinking or stop using. Right? And the book tells me that frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. And I can directly correlate that to something that happened in my life. When I was younger, my parents are both dead now, but when I was younger, I was doing meth since I was 15. I did meth my entire life, right? And one night I had done an excessive amount of methamphetamines and I was tripping. I had a bad trip. And I thought the devil was out to get me. I don't know if you guys have ever been there and hallucinating on meth like that bad, right? Demons and shit. And I was scared to fucking death. And I'm still living with my parents and I went home and fucking, this is like 20 years ago, right? This is I did meth years and years after this experience, but this is one I can directly relate to what they're talking about in the book, right? So I'm tripping out, and I'm seeing these little demons run around the house, and it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm sitting there with a fucking knife on the couch, scared to death, right? My mom gets up, my parents, because I'm making noise, right? And my mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, and I'm scared of my mom because she has these long red painted fingernails, and she looks like a fucking demon to me, right? So I'm thinking she's one of the fucking bad people, and I'm just fucking tripping out. And I'm so fucking scared that I really fucking tell myself I'm never doing this fucking shit again, right? It's not fun. I'm scared to death. And my mom, she's bawling and crying with her eyes out, saying, please don't do this ever again. And I'm promising her, Mom, I will never do it again. And I love my mother with all my heart. She loved me with all of her heart. And I ask you, what power on this earth is stronger than my love for my mother or my mother's love for me? And I made a vow that I would never do methamphetamines again, right there at that moment. 3 days later, I was high, doing it again. Right? Complete powerlessness. If my mother's love and my love for my mother was not enough to make me stop, there's nothing on this fucking earth that can make me stop, because I don't know anything stronger than that. Okay? My second relationship to the powerlessness is I did over 12 and a half years in prison because of my methamphetamine use. I've been in prison 4 different times. I didn't do all in one stretch, right? And every time I've been on probation 3 different times. I've been on parole, probation, or in prison since 1999, and I still have another year to go before I get out of probation, right? All because of my drug use. And my problem was that I just couldn't stop getting high. Because I would go to these parole officers, I would go to these probation officers, and I would do everything that they wanted me to do. Except I couldn't pass UAs. I couldn't give them a clean UA. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't an option to me, right? So after I get 3 or 4 dirties and they're telling me they're going to violate you on the next one, I say, okay, and pretend like I'm all good, right? But in my mind, I'm saying, catch me when you can. I'll see you fucking when the cops catch up to me, because in my mind, it's just not an option for me to stop using. It's not an option for me, right? And there's nothing you can take away, threaten me with, or fucking say to me that's going to be able to make me stop, right? And I never realized this shit. I just thought I didn't want to stop. So I was in prison. I had violated parole because I could not stop fucking getting high, and they violated me for dirty UAs, right? And I'm sitting on the violators yard in Florence West. I had like 45 days to kill my fucking number, right? And I'm in there, and I realize that I'm in there because I fucking can't stop doing meth, right? I can't stop getting high. That's why I'm back in prison again. And I'm telling all my friends in prison, I'm never fucking doing that shit again. I can see the destruction and the havoc that it's caused in my life, and I make these promises to all these people in there, including myself, I'm never going to do it again. My girlfriend, she's still getting high, and she's calling me, I'm talking to her on the phone from prison, and I'm telling her how I'm never going to do it again, right? Well, they release me. They come and get me. She comes and picks me up from prison, right? Now, I don't know if you've ever been on the yard in Florence West, but there's a McDonald's you can see from the yard in the free world, right?
Yeah.
They let me out. We go to that McDonald's to get breakfast, and before we even get out of the fucking car, I'm threatening her because I know she has dope on her to give me some, or I'm gonna fuck her up because I want fucking to get high. Complete insanity, right? And if it was a movie, you could see me actually snorting the line in the fucking car, and the camera would show the fucking prison over my head in the background, where I just fucking got out of because I can't stop getting high. Fucking complete insanity, right? A normal person's gonna say, I was just got out of this goddamn hellhole for fucking getting high. I'm never doing that again. And I said that too, right? But when that thought came to me and said, you know, it'd be a good idea, I'd like to get fucking high, I cannot tell it no, and I will fucking do it again, no matter what the fucking consequence. Complete powerlessness, all right? Like that step 1 tells me, right? And then here's the last one. I'll give you the last one. It's a little kind of a funny story, right? I did a lot of years in prison. The last time I did like 8 years, and I got out. My parents are all dead by now, right? I got no family members who will help me. They're sick of my shit, right? I've destroyed everything and everyone in my life. Just complete destructive path from drug use my whole life, right? And I think my only problem is that they keep arresting me and putting me in prison all the time. That's why I keep losing everything and starting over again, right? I think my only problem is if they would just fucking leave me alone, I'd be okay. I can't see what the true problem is, right? So I fucking get out of prison and I fucking can't stop fucking. I've been through Crossroads 4 times, by the way. I stayed here at this Crossroads Arcadia for 9 months. I was completely broken. I'm bouncing from halfway house to halfway house. Now, while in prison on my last term, I had learned how to pass UAs on meth. And it's the only way I managed to stay out of prison this last time. The only way I managed to complete that last parole sentence was because I figured out how to pass UAs on meth. And it's a nasty fucking thing, and it makes you fucking sick as a dog, and you shit your fucking brains out. But you need about a 4-hour window, but you can pass UAs, right? So I'm staying at the Solution, and I'm playing this fucking drinking a baking soda fucking game so I can pass UAs and sick and staying high and trying to fucking do this shit and go to these fucking meetings. I don't want to go to these fucking meetings, listen to these fucking people, right? And I finally get sick of it, right? I say, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking do this anymore. I make another decision. I'm gonna quit again, right? Now when I quit doing meth, I don't know about you guys, but I really have no energy. I can't even. I can get out of bed and I have a little bit of energy for a couple hours, and I gotta go back to fucking bed again. And I'm like that for about a week, right? So I can't go to work, right? I'm just sleeping. I'm at that fucking Solution, and I'm sleeping. Before this, I was selling meth out of the room at the Solution. My buddy was selling heroin. It was fucking insane, right? But so I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna stop. And I sleep for like 4 days. I lose my job. My rent's still paid, right? But they come and they tell me, look, you've been here for 4 days. You need to go fucking find a job today. If you don't come back without a job today, you're not gonna have a place to live, right? Well, my sick, insane fucking brain tells me I can't get a fucking job without being high. I just can't do it, right? The first thought comes to my head, I need to go get some dope if I gotta go get a job, right? Because I can't do it. So I fucking get on the bus. Remember, I got nothing to my name. I got like a bus ticket or something. I take the bus over to this dope dealer's house, and she don't have no more dope, but I see the bong sitting there that they fucking smoked the meth out of, right? Now, I did meth for years, right? I made it, I manufactured it back in the day. I know there's meth in that water, you know what I mean? I tell them, fucking give me the fucking, I said, can I have the fucking bong water? She's like, yeah, go ahead, and I drink the whole fucking thing. I was that desperate to get high, right? Because I need to go get a job, and I can't do it without being high, and I don't give a fuck how I get it, because I gotta have it, right? Complete insanity, right? The normal person would have said, okay, I need to go look for a job or get a job, and I'll be okay, right? That's all I needed to do. But no, my sick, insane brain tells me I need to get drugs first. And when I do so, I drink that bong water, and there's so much fucking dope in that bong water, now I'm fucking high as a fucking kite, right? Getting the job is the last fucking thing I'm ever going to do now. I'm fucking walking downtown, and I'm seeing where the fucking aliens landed, and I'm downtown where the fucking sewers bump up. I'm seeing where the fucking Mexicans invaded, and they came up through the fucking sewers, and that's how they all fucking invaded. Fucking that's how they're here illegally. And I'm on this conspiracy theory, and I'm finding all this evidence. I think a ton of bomb went off on this side of the city because all the trees are black on one side, right? I can see the blast area. I'm just flipped the fuck out, right? So getting the job's the last thing I can fucking do right now because I got all this conspiracy theories I gotta take care of. So I end up back at the halfway house because I got to go back. It's like 9 o'clock at night, right? And I'm in my room, and don't ask me how, but I get some idea that there's a fucking snake in my room. Now I'm fucking scared to death of snakes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fucking scared to death of snakes, right? So I break out I'm in a 2-man room by myself, right? Thank God, because who knows, I probably would have killed my roommate if he was in there. So I break the fucking bar off of the bunk bed, right? And I one of the bar off the underside of the bunk bed, and I'm jabbing it under the fucking dresser, right? Because I'm scared that snake's under there. And I gotta get him out, but I don't want to touch him because I'm afraid he's gonna bite me, right? So I'm jabbing it, and I can feel the fucking scales, and I'm so hard, right? And the fucking manager of the halfway house comes in and he says, "Look, Brian," because I know the dude well, because I've been kicked out hundreds of fucking times playing this, can't fucking stop getting high game. And he tells me, "Look, you're fucking high. I'm not even going to waste a cup on you. You got to go." And I immediately stand up. "What? I'm not fucking high." You know what I mean? And he's like, "You got to go." I fucking can't go until I get this fucking snake out. So the funniest part is that when the cops come back, the cops come, right, as they call them. And when the cops come, somehow I'm convinced the snake went inside of the pole now. And now I'm so obsessed with this fucking snake now. When the cops come, I'm in the bathroom, in the bathtub with the shower running, and I'm drowning this pole. And I can see the fucking bubbles coming up, so I know the snake's in there because he's trying to breathe. And the cops are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "The fucking snake." And they're like, "You gotta fucking go, we're gonna arrest you." Now, I've been arrested for criminal trespassing before. That's one of the times they sent me in prison for that shit. So I was like, okay, I'll go, right? So I end up on the fucking streets, homeless, nowhere to go, no money in my pocket. I have to leave for 72 hours till they'll let me come back to the halfway house, right? And it's all because all I had to do was go get a fucking job. Right? But my sick brain tells me, no, I can't do it without getting high. And because I got high, I ended up fucking chasing snakes in my room. It's insanity, right? Complete insanity, right? So I realized in step 1 that I was fucking insane, right? Because otherwise, why would I need my sanity restored in step 2 if I wasn't insane, right? So long story short, I was on the streets for like 3-4 days. Nowhere to go. It's July. I'm fucking dying, right? I don't know how to do homeless. Anytime I've either had a place to live, I've had family, or I've been in prison, right? Now everybody's gone. I got nothing. I don't know where to go, and I'm really on the streets. And I'm just basically walking from Circle K to Circle K. And I can't sleep because I'm so fucking high from all that meth that was in the bong water. And I'm basically walking from Circle K to Circle K, getting free water to survive. I'm in survival mode now. I'm just, how do I fucking survive for the next 3 days in 115 weather with nowhere to go, right? I'm dying out there, literally dying, and I don't know what to fucking do. So I walk around so much, and I jump in someone's swimming pool, I get wet socks and wet shoes, and I walk for like another 10 miles, and I get like trench foot like they got from fucking Vietnam, because I walked in wet socks and shoes for so far. Now, when I was high, I didn't feel it, right? But when I started to come down, man, my feet were fucking killing me. I couldn't even take another step. Now, I've been through Crossroads a couple times, right? I've been through here twice before, actually. Never made it past step 3. I stayed here 30, 60 days, right? But I would get to step 4 where they wanted that work to done. See, what would happen, I would get in here and I would get mentally and physically better, right? I'd get away from the drugs, I'd get away from the insanity for a while, and I would think that I'm good. I didn't realize that I had a disease. I said, okay, I'm never doing this shit again. I don't need the fucking steps. Thank you guys very much for helping me staying here in this rehab for 30 or 60 days. I'm out. And I'd go to a fucking 3-quarter house. 3 days later, I'd be high again. And what happens with me, what the phenomenon of craving looks like with me, is that when I get some clean time under my belt, I can see the destruction, the havoc that dope has caused in my life. But what happens is, as soon as I fucking trick myself into thinking I can do it that one time, as soon as I put that small little bump into my body, I have the opposite of an entire psychic change. And what it looks like for me, the insanity. So I'm convinced that I can be successful doing drugs, and you cannot tell me that I can't until I burn it to the ground once again. Right? As soon as I do that little bit, there's no way in hell you can tell me that I can't be successful doing dope, and you're not going to be able to convince me. And I fucking can't I will never be convinced until I'm homeless and on the fucking streets again. Right? And I'm getting, in the doctor's opinion, what the doctor says, and I'm going to relate some of this shit to you, because I'm short on time. I have another story, but I don't know if I have the time to tell it. You got 20 minutes, dude. Okay, well, so what happened was I fucking been through here twice before. I realized I didn't do what these people were telling me to do at Crossroads. I didn't finish the steps with these sponsors. I was rebelling against these fuckers every time I was here, right? Because I had that prison mentality, right? Fuck you, fuck the law, fuck fucking authority. You motherfuckers aren't gonna tell me what to do. I just need this time to come in here and fucking heal up, and then I'm good. I don't need your fucking help, and I don't need to listen to your rules and do your shit. But I realized after this time being on the streets, homeless and almost dying, that I needed that help, right? So this time when I came back into Crossroads here, the difference was my attitude. I was willing to fucking do whatever these fucking people here told me to do, because I realized that I fucking didn't know how to stay fucking clean and sober. And that maybe they could tell me or teach me how to. Right? So I fucking did the program here. I lived here for 9 months. I completed my steps. I was on step 8 or step 9 at 35 days and already sponsoring people. Reason why is I fucking had been in here before, and I knew that after 30 days I was going to go out there and get to work. And I didn't want to fucking go out there and get high again. So I wanted to get as far along as my fucking steps as I possibly could before I got out of this protected fucking custody that I was in here in Crossroads. Before I had that chance to be totally tempted out there again. I really did not want to get high again that bad. So by day 35, when I was out there getting a job and still living here at Crossroads, I was already on step 8. I was already sponsoring dudes. Right? And I had the complete psyche change, and I had the many experiential experiences. The obsession to get high had been completely removed. Right? But at 9 months sober, see, my entire life I'd never been married. I had a lot of girlfriends, right? But I'd never been married, I never had children, I never had that woman that I wanted to be with the rest of my life. The reason being is because I'd always dated girls that were on drugs, right? On meth, right? And I couldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. And I definitely wouldn't trust them to be my wife or have my children, right? So I never had that. And I never really wanted it when I was getting high either. Because some of the girls that I dated had kids, and they would just get in my way, right? Because I'd be fucking tweaking out, playing fucking video games. The kids would want to play, and I'd be like, fuck, I gotta let this kid play? I almost had high score! It was all about me when I was tweaking, right? So once I got sober, I realized that's something I desperately wanted in my life, right? I wanted that woman to be in my life the rest of my life. I wanted that chance of maybe having that family, right? I wanted the things that I never wanted my whole life. And I met this girl at 9 months sober, right? And I believe that God was blessing me, because my entire life was all about the program. I was totally selfless. I sponsored a bunch of dudes. It was all about helping everybody here and everybody around me, right? I had many spiritual experiences. God was in my life. And I had adopted a God. And this is the part where I fucked up. In step 2, I didn't do step 2 correctly. In step 2, I just adopted the God, the religious God, right? I don't know, hopefully I don't offend people here, but I adopted the God from the Bible. And my view of the God from the Bible originally was that he was a vengeful, menacing, punishing God, right? Because that's what he does in the Bible, and he punishes the people that are wrongdoers and stuff like that, right? They teach you to fear God in the Bible, right? And what happened was, me and that girl moved out, we got a house together, I asked her to marry me, she said yes. But we tried to have children, it just didn't happen. And one day came that she said she decided she didn't want to be with me anymore, right? And when that happened, because my God was a vengeful, menacing, punishing God, I blamed God, right? Because I thought God had blessed me with that relationship for all my hard work in the program. That was my first mistake. And my second mistake was I didn't create God correctly the first time, right? So the first time because my God was a vengeful, menacing, punishing God, I blamed God. I said, God, why the fuck would you give me this just to take it away? I fucking hate you, I don't trust you, and I don't have the faith that you have my best interests in mind. And as soon as I had that thought, as soon as I thought that, the obsession to drink and the fucking drug returned. Immediately. That's the only solution. And when you hear people talk about the solution in this room, that solution is a higher power that can remove and help you with your mental obsession, right? So what happened is I fucking thought to myself when we had an argument one day, because this girl truly loved me and she was a really good girl, right? And we still lived together. And she didn't want to see me fuck up, even though she didn't want to be with me anymore. She didn't want to see me fucking destroy myself again. But what happened was I couldn't take it, right? I couldn't take the sadness and the feeling of the loss. And first thought in my head was you know what? I'm not a fucking alcoholic. I'm only a fucking addict. I was addicted to meth all those years. I'm not an alcoholic. And the passage in the book came to mind, the one that says, if you don't think you're an alcoholic, step over to the nearest bar room and try some controlled drinking. And try to stop abruptly, right? It's worth a fucking case of jitters if you get the full knowledge of your condition. And it says that in the book. So I thought, you know what, I'm not an alcoholic. And I went to the fucking store and I got a Mike's Hard Limit and I downed it, right? And I felt fucking better, and I felt warm and fuzzy inside, and I didn't feel sad anymore. And I went back home, and I fucking went to sleep, and I woke up the next day, and I didn't want to fucking drink again. And I said, you know what, I knew I wasn't a fucking alcoholic. I was only a drug addict, right? Well, what happened was the next time that we had an argument or a disagreement because we were still living together, the first thought that came to my head was go to that fucking store and get that drink. This time I went, because I'm an addict alcoholic, that Mike's Hard Limit ain't strong enough, right? I got to get something stronger, right? More. Got more than what I had last time. Addict thinking, clear addict and alcoholic thinking. This time I get the Four Locos, right? Now I get really fucked up off that Four Locos, right? Because I ain't drank it. It's been 11 months. I had 11 months the first time around, right? Almost made the year that I have now, right? So I fucking drink the Four Locos. Now I'm so fucking drunk that when the thought comes to mind and says, you know what, I'd like to go get some meth, I can't tell it no because I'm fucking drunk and I end up at the dope house and I get high. Now this girl, she truly loves me, right? She catches me fucking with dope a couple times and makes me flush it, and I do because I fucking really don't want to fucking be high in front of her. I just don't, right? And but she knows that I'm gonna go fucking drink or get high because every time I leave her, I do when I go by myself. So she won't let me out of her sight. You know, she won't even let me go to the fucking store by myself, right? I'm like, I gotta go to the store to get something to drink. She's like, nope, I'm going with you. Because, you know, and that was my plan. I was gonna go get some more alcohol, but I can't do it with her with me, so she wouldn't let me out of her sight for days. Now what happened was one day she fucking finally had to go do some business at the bank or whatever, where I couldn't go with her. Now we're living in the town of Maricopa, right? Now this is my experience, right? I'm driving and I'm going to the gym. All I got to do is go across the 10 and go to the gym on the other side right there in Chandler, right? Now I'm driving and I get to stop and I want to fucking go get some meth. I don't know where to get meth anywhere but on the west side of Phoenix. That's where I grew up at. That's where I did all my dirt at. That's where I was fucking running and gunning, right? So I had this out-of-body experience. I tell myself, call your sponsor. Don't do this. You know what's going to happen is I watch myself turn and get on the freeway instead of going across it to go to the gym. I'm watching myself do something as I'm telling myself not to. Now I managed to call my sponsor, right? And I'm on the freeway. I'm headed to this side of town. You can't stop me, right? I call him and I say, hey buddy, I need a fucking meeting right now or I'm going to go get fucking high. He says, I'll call you right back. He calls me back. He says, there's a meeting at the Mesa Alano Club. It starts in 20 minutes. I said, yeah, I know where that is. I'll go there, right? And I managed enough willpower because I ain't hit the 60 yet. I turn and I go on the 60 and I go to Mesa. And I go to this meeting. And I sit in this meeting and I share with everybody in the meeting exactly what I'm going through. The read that I want to go get high and what's going on, right? And I see a brother that I went through Crossroads with, and he sits and he talks with me after the meeting for like a half an hour, and we talk about how and why I shouldn't do it. I leave that meeting, I go straight to the dope house and I get high. So from my experience, I did everything they fucking tell you to do in this program. I fucking called my sponsor. I went to a meeting. I shared with another addict or alcoholic about what I was going through. I sat after the meeting and talked with another addict or alcoholic what I was going through. But because I had lost my only solution that there is to this fucking mental obsession about drugs and alcohol, I was fucked. Because I did not believe that my higher power had my back, that my higher power, I did not believe that he would faithfully help me. All that other shit was just fucking no good. Was not enough, right? So I went on a 6-month-long run. And I did a lot of shit in there, but I don't really have time to cover it because I want to go over the steps and what they mean before I'm done. But So I end up, finally, I go back into Crossroads, and I had changed my sponsor at the time, right? The same sponsor I'd always had, because I don't trust and have faith in him anymore, because I'm high and I fucking don't believe him, right? Just paranoid. And I get this other fucking sponsor named Chris Lloyd, and he's a fucking awesome dude, right? And I just can't stay sober, right? And I got a lot of friends in the program, Todd and a bunch of people that I went through fucking the program with the first time, Aaron that works at Crossroads, at corporate, we all went through together, right? And I'm seeing these people, and I go to these meetings because Chris talks me into going. I'm high at the meeting, or I fucking maybe have 24 hours because I can't stop, right? I want to, but I can't, right? And I go in there and I tell them I only have 24 hours, and every week, like I go back and I only have 24 hours, and I see the sad look on their faces, and I get tired of fucking seeing it, right? So I just stop going. But I realize that I can't stop without going into inpatient again. So I finally manage up enough willpower to fucking go back to Crossroads. And what happens is I make the decision. Here I am thinking I'm making these decisions. Check this out. I think I make the decision, right? So I go in and I see Aaron. He's my good friend at Crossroads. I say, look, Aaron, he works in corporate now. We went through the program together, right? I said, look, I can't go back to Arcadia. I've been there fucking 3 times. My experience didn't work. I want to go to West. I need a new experience, right? So here I am thinking I'm making this decision. And it makes sense, I'll explain it later. But so he sends me to West. So I go to West. I ask Chris to come see me. He comes and sees me. He says, look, I can't sponsor you anymore. I'm moving to California. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just get my old sponsor back, Aiden, because I've had him forever. I call up Aiden. So here I am thinking I'm making another decision, right? So I call up Aiden now, and he's a member of the Knights of the Round Table, so am I. And Aiden, he's down in Mexico with the Knights, building houses for underprivileged families, because that's what we do. And he says, I can't be there for like a week because I'm in Mexico, but I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm like, cool, bro, I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere, right? And the obsession's still on me. I still want to get high. I'm at Crossroads again. I don't want to fucking be there, but I am, right? And I have this roommate, and I'm doing the 10th step with him, because I've been through the steps many times, you know, I know how to do them. So I'm doing the nightly review with this roommate. And they move him out, and they move in this dude I don't know from Adam. Never seen this dude before in my life, all right? And we're doing the 10th step, and it comes out that he was fucking just in Mexico with Aiden. And that he had relapsed, was living at my grand sponsor's fucking halfway, our 3/4 house, Harold's. And that's why he ended up there at Crossroads. And that's the exact same road that I traveled my fucking last time that I got sober, right? So I realized that I was exactly where I was supposed to be at that very moment. And then all those decisions I thought I was making, because the chances are that they put this dude, there's 5 different facilities for Crossroads, right? And then there's 50 different rooms at the one I'm at. And the chances are that they happen to put this fucking dude in my room. And then I realized that all the fucking shit, through the breakup with the girl, through the 6-month-long relapse, through my decision to go to Crossroads West, through my decision to get Aiden back as a sponsor, through that fucking randomness of them putting this dude in my room, that all of those things had to happen for me to be there at that moment and to recognize that I wasn't making any of those decisions. That God was guiding me and controlling all of my life that whole time. That I thought he wasn't with me. That I thought he was against me. He was guiding me and controlling me, my life and everything in it, to fucking bring me to that moment, to reveal himself to me yet again, to show me that he is not a vengeful, punishing, and menacing God. And I'm here to tell you that in that fucking exact moment when I realized that God had my back again, my obsession was immediately removed. I hadn't even done a step yet. Completely gone. And since then, I've gone back through these steps, and I've sponsored a lot of men, and I like to go over what the steps mean to me and how they're fucking done, right? Step 1 tells me, like I was telling you about, if I do step 1 correctly, it tells me I'm insane. Why? Because I admitted that I was powerless over my thoughts and that my actions had become unmanageable. Because my thoughts are going to guide my actions are going to control what my life looks like. So if my life looks unmanageable, it's because my actions are uncontrollable, and my thoughts guide my actions. So what I'm truly powerless over is my thoughts. And if I can't control what I think and what I do, I'm insane. And so why else would I need my sanity restored, like it tells me that it happens in step 2, right? So in step 2, I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. And if I do step 2 correctly, what I do with my sponsees today is I have them write down all of the qualities they would want in a best friend. And after they write this big long list, I say, okay, there's your God. That's him. Try to make yourself more like him. And the reason why I tell them that is in step 2, it says that he has came to all who have honestly sought him. What does it say? Did it say that he come to the ones that prayed right? Does it say that he came to the ones that called him by the right name? Did it say that he came to the ones that were the right color or the right race or the right religion? No, it says they came to all. All that did what? Honestly sought him. So I like to look up words in the dictionary because I like to see what the author is truly talking about. So I look up seek in the dictionary. And the word seek means get to know. So it says he has came to all who wanted to honestly get to know him. And the sentence directly after that, it says, when we draw near to him, he revealed himself to us. So how do I feel closer? How do I draw nearer to someone, right? If I have more things in common with this man and nothing in common with this one, who am I going to feel closer to? The person that I have more in common with, right? So when I write down all those qualities that I want in a best friend, and I decide that is right there, that is my God. And if I try to make those qualities in my life, practice doing them, now all of a sudden I feel closer to my God instead of further away. And it tells me in step 2 that thousands of people have flatly declared that since they have came to believe in a power greater than themselves, to take a certain attitude towards that power and to do a few certain simple things, there's been a revolutionary change in their way of thinking and living. What am I powerless over? My thoughts and my actions, right? So that revolutionary change in my way of thinking and living means my sanity will be restored. So in step 3, it tells me what these people did, and what I did is I made a decision to turn my life and my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him. And the way I like to explain that, what makes sense to me, is what am I truly powerless over? My thoughts and my actions, right? Where does the will live? When you try to will something to happen, where do you think that lives at? It's in your thoughts, isn't it? So if I turn my thoughts and my actions over to the care of God as I understand him, then I can complete step 3 the way they did it. How do I turn my thoughts and my actions over to the care of God as I understand him? If I can stop, because what I truly need to do is recreate my life. Because if I realize that where I'm at in this position today, when I was at my bottom, right, when I was broken, when I couldn't stop using, when I checked into a rehab, when I started doing these steps, right, who the fuck got me there? I did. My way of thinking, my thoughts and what I should do in every aspect of my life got me there. And if I want to change where I'm at, I can't fucking do what I want to do. Because if I do, I'm going to end up right in the back in the same fucking place. So if I ask myself, what would my best friend or my God do in this situation? And act it out, what I think he would do, now I'm doing God's will in my life. So in step 4, right, because it tells me that what this program really is a fucking cure for the for our spiritual malady. This program has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol. There's no cure for the mental obsession or the allergy of the body that is this disease, right? There's only a stay of execution. And what that looks like, because the book tells me, when the spiritual malady is overcome, I will straighten out mentally and physically. Where does my disease lie? In the mental and the physical, right? So I realize right there that my goal is to fucking fix my spiritual malady. A malady is a sickness or a disease. So I realize that when I overcome my spiritual sickness, the obsession that I have to go drink and drug is removed. And as long as I don't put it in my body ever again, I won't experience allergic reaction. Now I'm good. So I realize what this program is about. And if I don't want to ever fucking drink or drug again, then I need to learn how to fucking fix what I did before in my life, which made me spiritually sick, and what I do today and tomorrow so I don't become spiritually sick again. So in step 4, what it tells me, it says, though our decision, and it's talking about our decision we made in step 3, right, to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand him. Though our decision was a vital and crucial step, it could have little permanent effect if it not once followed by a strenuous effort to be rid of and face the things within us that have been blocking us. And what are they talking about, the things within us that were blocking us? All that spiritual unsick shit that we did our whole lives to this point. So in steps 4 through 9, basically what I do is I fucking remove all that spiritual shit, unspiritual shit that I did to this point. And how I do that is I admit that before God and before another man. Now I'm spiritually clean. Now I've entered into the realm of the spirit. And what that looks like is, they talk about that at the end of step 10. What they experienced after the first 9 steps. They say we have ceased fighting alcohol or anything else. That when tempted from alcohol, we will recoil from it as from a hot flame. And we find that our new attitude towards it has nothing to do with ourselves. It just comes. That's a miracle of it. And what that looks like for me is that first thought does not ever sound like a fucking good idea to me. It's been miraculously removed through my spiritual fitness. And that's how today I'm able to go and do things that I was never able to do before. Today, this is something I've done in my fucking sobriety. I've gone into trap houses. I pulled out a sponsee that was doing methamphetamines in this trap house. I've taken his methamphetamines from him, put it in my pocket, taken and dropping this man off at CBI. Take that methamphetamines by myself and throw it away. Now I went on this fucking 12-step call by myself, right? Because I did not have the fear that I would get high. Because I knew that I had done these spiritual steps correctly and that thought would not come. Because if that thought came and told me, no, it'd be a good idea, let's do that meth that's in your pocket, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd be out fucking getting high. And that is the miracle of this program. That's what you will experience if you've done what these people done and what I've done by the end of step 9. Is that thought is miraculously removed. Now you can go throughout your day and you can go through your life, right? And you can go through breakup with girls. You can go through losing a job. You can have family members die. You can have sickness and troubles in your life. And well, you don't have to run and hide in that pipe or that bottle or that needle over it. Why? Because that fucking first thought doesn't come and tell me to go do it. Because that's what I'm powerless over, is that thought. That insane thought that tells me it's a good idea to do drugs again. And I'll close with this. I realize that I'm only here today because someone worked their 12th step on me. That if that person had gone on with their lives after they got clean and sober and forgot about people like me, that I would not be here today. So it's with that gratitude that I reach out to others. So if there's anyone in this room that is looking for a sponsor and would like to have what I just told you about, then I'd be more than grateful to take you through the steps and see me after the meeting, and I'll close with that. Thanks.